Dan Carpuck here for Trend Center, and welcome to the Wednesday, May 6th edition of Trend or Trap. I am here to go over MLB, NHL, and NBA trends right from the Trend Center app and determine whether they are trends to tail or traps to fade. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's start with the MLB, the Rays versus the Blue Jays. This is an early afternoon, 1:10 p.m. start. So let's go right into the trend here. Since 2020, backing teams priced minus 120 to minus 170 facing Patrick Corbin have gone 45 and 13 straight up. That's 77.59% plus 26.55 units, 31.4% ROI. So I have to say, happy Patrick Corbin Day to all of you listening and watching. I'm going to tail this and go with the Rays money line at minus 130 here. That's the best price you can find over at FanDuel right now. I may admit that I've gone maybe a little bit overboard on the graphic if you're watching this and not listening, but I couldn't help myself. When Patrick Corbin pitches, I have to fade him. It is a rule that I live by. As you can see, fading him over the years has been a gift that he kept giving, and while he hasn't really imploded yet this season yet, he has a 5.69 xERA and has allowed a dangerously high barrel rate, high hard hit rate, and low strikeout rate, all of which suggests that he is going to negatively regress soon. I want to be there when that happens. The Rays have been a middling group so far against Southpaws and have been slightly above average offense. That's good enough for me, as long as they're not at the bottom of the barrel. As far as that is concerned, I'm fine with that. Toronto's offense has also struggled so far, averaging just 4.08 runs per game. That bodes well for Shane McClanahan, who is going to start for the Rays. The Jays also have a bottom third team in OPS against lefties. McClanahan is 3-2 with a 3.10 ERA. He ranks in the 90th percentile of Baseball Savant's all-encompassing pitching run value metric, which also paints a nice picture for him. Tampa Bay has won 4 of his last 5 starts, and McClanahan has allowed a sparkling 0 in the earned run column in each of his last 2 starts. Heading into this showdown, I'm going to tail this trend and wish you once again a very happy Patrick Corbin Day. Moving on to the NHL, the Ducks versus the Golden Knights in Game 2. The Golden Knights are up 1-0, but I think the Ducks are pretty live in this one, and I'll explain why right after this trend. Over the last 10 years, Western Conference road playoff underdogs down in the series between plus 100 and plus 160 on the money line, with a game total between 5 and 6.5, have gone 30 and 13 straight up. That's 69.77% for plus 25.37 units, 59% ROI against other Western Conference teams. So the Golden Knights, yes, they got off to a 1-0 lead with a 3-1 victory on Monday night. However, there were some reasons to be confident in the Ducks in this spot, starting with the aforementioned trend, which I'm going to tail, by the way. They outshot Vegas 34-22. They had plenty of scoring chances that they just couldn't take advantage of and convert. In fact, per natural stat trick, the Ducks created 12 high danger chances while the Knights created just 6. So that's another sign pointing in Anaheim's favor here. Judging by post-game quotes from Ducks players and coaches, it also seems as though Anaheim is really confident heading into Game 2, and they liked what they saw in Game 1. They just couldn't convert those opportunities. Remember, this is a Ducks team that lost Game 1 to the Oilers in Edmonton last round, and then went on to win 3 straight games before closing out that series in 6. So I'm not saying that's going to happen again here, but at plus 144 over at Kalshi, I think that there's some solid value to take advantage of here. So I'm going to go with the Ducks money line and just call this another trend to tail. Finally, moving on to the NBA hardwood, it is the Knicks and 76ers Game 2. Let's discuss this one, starting with this trend. Over the last 23 years, home favorites of 10.5 or less points have gone 133 and 73 against the spread. That's 64.56% for plus 52.7 units, 23.26% ROI in Game 2 of the first or second rounds of the playoffs, when the favorites have a win percentage less than 75% on the season and opponents have a win percentage less than 66%. So, are we going to call this a trend and tail the Knicks -7, or are we going to go with the 76ers +7? I'm going to say that, as a Celtics fan, this pains me a little bit. I'm going to go with the Knicks -7. Although, I guess you can, as a Celtics fan, you can kind of have something against both of these teams. But I'm going to go with the Knicks -7 in this spot. The NBA playoffs are all about making adjustments. I'm going to be I'm going to be honest here. Nick Nurse scares me. Last round, of course, the Celtics beat the 76ers 123-91 in Game 1 before Philly roared back with a 111-97 Game 2 victory in Boston, and Joel Embiid was out for both of those games, by the way. But after the Knicks annihilated the 76ers to the tune of 137-98 in Game 1 of this series, the situation is a little bit different here. Embiid is clearly laboring on his injury-ridden body right now. I don't know if it's his knee, his feet, whatever it is. He is really, really having a hard time out there. After crushing Boston last round, a weak front court opponent, he now has to deal with both Karl-Anthony Towns and an elite low post defender in Mitchell Robinson. That's not going to be easy for him. He went just 3 of 11 for 14 points, 4 boards in Game 1. Clearly showed fatigue from the 1 day of rest he got from the last series. Now he's going to be operating on 1 day of rest once again. I don't think that's going to bode well for him. And as we've seen, when he is out there, he's going to get a ton of usage. The offense is going to flow through him, and Tyrese Maxey and Paul George are going to kind of take the back seat when he is on the court. I don't think that is going to create a positive situation for Philadelphia whatsoever in this matchup. Now, after their Game 3 loss to the Hawks in the last round, in which they went down 2-1, something really clicked for this Knicks team. They've enjoyed 4 consecutive decisive wins since then. I'm going to tail this trend, put my faith in the home team at MSG, and I think that this is the year that the Knicks have that opportunity to move forward to the finals and try to make some noise and really make some things happen, potentially in the NBA Finals. With the Celtics out of the playoffs, this is their chance, and I think they know it, and the pressure is on them to deliver. So I'm going to go with the Knicks to cover in this spot. So to recap quickly, I'm going to go with the Braves, or not the Braves, but the Rays money line versus the Blue Jays in Patrick Corbin. The Ducks money line at the Golden Knights at +144. And finally, the Knicks to cover 7 points versus the 76ers in Game 2. Good luck with all of your bets on this slate. And as always, head over to Trend Center right now and grab a free 3-day trial on any premium subscription. If you don't like us after 2 days, if you don't like what you see, simply cancel, no strings attached. You won't be charged a single thing. There's literally no reason not to try us out. So head over there. Let us arm you with as many data points as you can handle and make yourself a better, more complete bettor. So, with that being said, I will see all of you tomorrow on the next episode of Trend or Trap.